Welcome back to God and Bourbon. I'm Travis.
And I'm Lee.
And I'm Ian.
Hey, Ian has been so gracious to allow us to come up here to Legends Distillery in Cumming, Georgia, Lee. And we're talking about...
We're talking about bourbon, obviously. But we're also talking about different other distilled spirits up here, too, that they also produce. So, last episode, we talked about the whole process of distilling the liquor, or the spirits, excuse me, and where they get their spirits from, and then going through their quantitative
quantum distillation refinement technology.
Yes. And so
one.
And so after that process, we went into talking about moving the spirits into the barrels and then the aging process. So now we're going to talk about
the packaging process. And once they bottled it and got it here. But that leads into this teaching right here. It took a lot of patience for Ian to get it from this part to that special machine over there that I cannot pronounce the name of it. I'm from South Georgia. It's not going to happen. And get it into a barrel. After the barrel, you got it in there. But that's a lot of patience because whether you know or not, it's like we talked about in the last episode. You've got barrels that's been sitting here for 4 years. You've got barrels that's been sitting here for 11 years. Y'all will probably once in the future get to like a 20-year barrel.
Absolutely.
Or something. And so that's a lot of patience. And the thing about it is that when you first decide to follow Jesus, you think your life's supposed to change like that. It don't. Your life is not going to change. If anything, your life's going to get harder because you're trying to do things differently than the way you've done them in the past. You've got to have patience, but do not pray for patience. Do not, because Satan will come at you harder than you'll ever know when you start praying for patience. Pray for guidance and the leadership of the Holy Spirit. Get other people, like believers, together with you, and y'all pour into each other. Patience is virtue, but don't pray for it. But you've got to abide in age, just like these barrels do.
Yes, so, faith takes a lot of patience. So, like, just piggyback off of what Travis was saying. You know, as soon as you go into that water, you get baptized. You think you're going to come out and you're going to be this perfect Christian or follower of Christ. That is not what ends up happening. Mm-mm. So, every day is a struggle. Every day you walk, you're going to trip 4 or 5 times at least. So, patience is key.
So to kind of tag in here,
go ahead.
A lot of what y'all are saying does apply because in this industry, much like what you're saying, there's no such thing as instant gratification. You cannot put something in a piece of wood and expect it to be the greatest thing that mankind's ever seen. Because it will either be the greatest thing mankind's ever seen or the complete opposite. And so it's not just having the patience, but it's the unknowing of it that makes it exciting.
The perseverance that you got to have. Yes. You every day you got to put that process in. And that's the way it is in our faith. That every day you've got to read, you've got to study, you've got to pray, and that's the same thing with distilling bourbon. Because every day you come in here, you're doing something different in order to make that process better.
Absolutely.
And can you explain to us where we're at and what these beautiful bottles are right here?
Yeah. So we're here at my back stock of empty bottles. You'll see a bunch of different varieties of cases because we do. At least 12 different brands out of this one location. Majority of it being Legends, all of it under the Spirits of the USA brand. But yeah, going from this empty glass right here is one hell of a process. So taking into account everything we talked about in the last episode, from the aging, the QDRT systems, after that process takes place, we like to keep them in our tanks for a few months, just to burn off any of that excess gas that we mentioned at the beginning of the last episode. On top of removing the impurities, by relieving it of that excess methanol and ethanol, it's going to be a much smoother drink before it even goes through the last stage of filtration. So we're already leaps and bounds above some of these other distilleries that are just going barrel to bottle. Yeah. train of thought just derailed so
Hey,
hard
it
there.
happens to us all the time. Don't feel bad. We'll be sitting there talking about something, and all of a sudden we get like a brain fart, and
Yep.
it's like, what were we talking about? Yeah. But this bottle, can you? Cause there's like some emblems on this bottle right here, and I tell you what, that is just a beautiful thick bottle.
So this lovely piece of glass here took about 8 months to design. It's got our Spirits of the USA company name, followed by the brand name, as well as our QDRT symbol, all embossed right there on the glass. So it makes it
From the machine.
from the machine.
Yeah.
Every product that we do is certified Q. That shows that it has gone through this process. And any of the other brands that we produce for our customers will all say certified Q or QDRT.
Y'all trademark that?
We have trademark.
Yeah, we have learned about trademarking and copywriting and
Yes.
registering stuff. It's a process.
Everything we do, we own. And
Yeah.
so,
That's the same thing with us. Everything that we do now, we own too.
yes.
And see, going back to that patience, 8 months just to design a piece of glass that the bourbon will sit in. And everything just, you have to think about everything that you do from the start to the end. And that's just one more example of something that no one would even think about. Okay, it's just a bottle. But somebody has taken the patience, the time, and has thoroughly thought through how they want their bottles to look and the design function of them and all their symbols on there, just to show that it's gone through this process, and you know, it's just amazing.
And that leads right back in to your daily walk. If you're not putting in the time and the effort, you're not going to get anything out of it. If Ian came in here every day and sit at a desk, nothing would get done. One, because it seems he's the only one up here doing it besides somebody else. But number two, they wouldn't be in business no more. And so think about that with your faith. You have got to have the patience to sit there, read, study, and pray, and then get poured into, and then you start pouring into other people. But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm about ready to pour this bottle right here. Well, not this bottle, but a bottle of bourbon. So,
Well, we got one more step before we can do that.
all right, well, tell us
And
that step.
we're actually gonna take a little wander back through the way we came.
Okay.
Because you gotta do one thing before you go to empty bottle to pouring shots,
Okay.
and that's filling the bottle.
Oh
Right.
yes, we love watching bottles get filled or seeing how it gets filled because everybody is different.
Yes.
Everybody's different.
Absolutely.
Everybody does it a different way. We've noticed even being on the Bourbon Trail, watching that process, being at local distilleries, we've seen people, do it. Everybody does it different, and so it's pretty cool.
And I love the some of them have humor that go along with it too, because there's one distillery up in Kentucky that is right across the street from Buffalo Trace that their bottling process, their little where they actually bottle it is called the bourbon cow, and it looks like it's got udders on it.
It does. It's really funny how they do that. And that was a good place too, to be honest with you. Check out this room right here. They got little udders over there.
This is kind of the last stop on the life cycle of a Legends product. And it is quite obviously our bottling line. At the moment, we're set up for two different styles of bottling. You have your semi-automatic and your manual. The manual line here runs off a 2-bottle high-pressure rinser, a 6-bottle manual filler, and from there it'll be hand-capped and then sent through the labeler here, which we'll talk about in a bit. The semi-automatic line does 10-bottle high-pressure rinse, which I'm going to focus on that for a second because a lot of other distilleries will either use just single-use distilled water or compressed air to clean out their bottles. That doesn't work. The single-use distilled water, sure, it'll rinse, but the waste is unimaginable. The compressed air just blows shit around. It doesn't actually clean the bottles. We use a 30% alcohol solution, basically pure vodka or pure white spirit distilled water. So not only are we rinsing, but we're also purifying and cleansing the bottles. That way there's no foreign debris. Like, we want to be the cleanest spirit produced. You got to start with the cleanest bottles.
Oh, that guy, that just put me into another realm right here. We just got done talking about patience and the patience that we got to wait to even get to this process right here. But once you're in the patience process, you need to be cleaning up yourself, and that means getting things out of your life that you know you shouldn't be doing, and getting to that spiritual cleansing, as we call it, to get, just like they do these bottles, they go through a different process than probably anybody else in the community. They actually put alcohol in there in order to clean it out. Now, I'm not saying you need to go drink alcohol in order to clean your body out. I'm just saying that you need to go in there and you need to find the word in order to clean up your spirit inside of you. But go ahead. That just popped in my head.
Now, sorry, but I do have a question.
Go for it.
So the alcohol that you use to clean the bottles, do you reuse that alcohol?
So this is, as well as our main system, they've been retrofitted with sort of RO filtration system. So out of this, 3.5 gallons and out of the 12 gallons there, I can get about 60 to 80 rinse cycles before I have to drain it. So yeah, it's a lot more efficient.
Awesome. Yeah.
Well, with that being said, how do we, so let me, this is just going back in my mind, it's you and another guy here.
Yes.
Y'all are all back here doing this, just y'all two, right?
Yeah.
Wow, and then once y'all get them packaged, I see you got your rollers here for your line. Y'all, I guess they go, it looks like they go on this table right here, and you're taking them and you're doing the packaging of them. And then I guess y'all shrink wrap them up on a pallet and ship them out the door right there then, right?
Yeah. So when it's just Patrick and I back here on the hand line, we can do about 200 cases an hour.
Okay, wow.
Which is a pallet an hour, basically. When it comes to the semi-automatic line here, we're closer to about 4 pallets an hour. The hardest part for that is the labeling, because at that rate, that label ends real quick. And so we're pretty efficient when it comes to it, mainly because there's only 2 people here. If you're ever in a work environment where you're surrounded by 15 other people, nothing gets done. When you got 2 people back here that know how each other work, you hit the ground and you just keep running.
Yeah, you don't have to rely on anybody else to step up and take part of that work off of you.
Exactly.
It's just you, and you want to get it done, you're going to get it done.
And a smaller team makes it easy to hold everyone accountable.
Ha! And that's true. That's why we break up in a men's group at church, and we got a smaller little group, whether you got 8 or you got 12, because it's easier to hold each other accountable. So, and now your corks over here I'm looking at, are they your they're real corks?
So these were done with in partnership with another distillery, with Short Barrel.
Yeah.
We just bottled a few of their products for them because we have a bottling line. So does the Distillery of Modern Art, the Modern Art of Distilling. I forget how they.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
I can't remember which way it goes now.
They also have a bottle line, so we've all chipped in to help them get their products bottled and on the shelves. Small community. So.
It is, and that's the way we operate, is small communities. We've been to Short Barrel. We've done some episodes at Short Barrel, and we got to try their Takai. Did I say it right? Takai.
Yes.
Before it even went to the market.
The Kai right.
Yeah, Takai, right? Yeah.
All of our corks are synthetic.
Synthetic. Okay.
So you don't have to really worry about them breaking off either.
Nah.
Which is, some people like that real cork, some people like that synthetic cork. Synthetic cork, you ain't got to worry about breaking off. I've actually seen a lot of people break off their corks.
Oh, especially in a
and
bottle,
get mad.
15-year package.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So that's awesome.
It is.
That y'all work together, y'all come together too, and help each other out. That's
Especially
one
with
nice
these-
thing about the bourbon community
Yes.
is everybody comes together and helps each other out. Heaven Hill, when they had their fire back in late '80s, other distilleries stepped up and still got their product out there. So it's awesome.
And that's just the way we got to be. We was having this conversation before we ever started doing any filming in the first episode, and we was talking to, are they the investors or the partners in this? Was that
Who we were talking to earlier? Yeah, that was Michael and one of the initial partners in the company.
Yeah, and what we was talking about, it all goes back to what me and Lee done. Today is last night. When you watched this, it wasn't, but when we went live and we was talking about, stop hating. you know, just because somebody's different than you, I mean, you and Short Barrel's got two different avenues in which y'all are going. But at the same time, y'all all doing the same purpose, trying to satisfy people and satisfy their taste buds. And that's the way we got to be in our lives right now. We've all, everybody's got to find that common ground. And in our community, it's bourbon. But also in our community, it's our faith. And we're all trying to get to the same goal, trying to get to the kingdom of heaven. And we're trying to get people who's been beat up. It's like we was talking about, you know, before we started filming. People who's been beat up, ostracized, criticized, condemned, judged by the church today. You know, these people who sit on a pew and they think they're all holier than thou.
Well, and these gentlemen here at Legends and Short Barrel and these other smaller, I mean, they've basically had the same thing happen to them with the big name distillers.
Yeah, they're trying to put them out of business.
And
the 3-tier system and
yeah.
everything,
Yeah, so they've been ostracized just as much as anybody else, but you know what, they all come together. They help each other out with their bottling processes and stuff like that, and they've all got different, just like we've all think differently, you know, they've all got different types of bourbons. They've all got different processes of how they distill their bourbon or have their bourbon brought in and sent out. But yet, instead of going, no, I'm not gonna help you out. No, you're down there doing that. You're in competition with me. No, they step in and they go, hey brother, come up here. Send us your juice. We'll put it on our assembly line. We'll get it out there for you. Because we're all in this together.
But I mean, that's one of the things is that's what it's all about. It's helping each other out. I mean, just like Legends is helping out God and Bourbon is helping out Legends. Absolutely. And we're trying to get y'all's name out there in the big worldwide web of, you know, social media. And y'all was gracious enough to allow us to come up here and film these episodes up here to promote it, to tell people, you know what, there's an alternative way to follow Jesus, and it's through grace and compassion. And that's what we're asking for more than anything.
And there's alternative bourbons to the big guys.
Yep. There is a lot of alternative bourbon to the big guys. Just because
not knocking on the big guys.
We're not knocking
on.
We're not. But
there are some other.
Hey, I'll say this right here. If you're in your local liquor store, whatever you do, go in there right now. The next time you go find you a bottle of Legends. If you can't get a bottle of Legends where you're at, find out where you can get it from.
The best way to do that is just talk to the guy behind the counter. If you ask for it and that liquor store is worth their salt, they'll have it on the shelf in the next 2 weeks.
You know, from our previous episode, you know, what we tasted, we got a lot of feedback. People are actually coming to trust mine and Lee's judgments when it comes to tasting bourbon. And to be honest with you, if you go back and watch those episodes, there were some bourbons in there that we didn't like. Mm-hmm. And so, but that's the way it is anywhere. I mean, there's
for sure.
There's big name stuff that I like, and there's big name stuff I don't like at all. Mm-hmm. And so it's not a personal preference, but we know we've been studying this enough with, you know, between our tasting notes and everything. We know what we're looking for in it, and we can find a good bourbon when we have to.
Yeah. And that being said, you know, everybody's palate's different.
Yeah.
Some people don't like bourbon at all. Some people like vodka. Some people like gin. But you know, everybody's palate's different, and you know, don't just take our word on it. But yeah, go out there, find you a bottle of Legends, open it up. It may be the best stuff you ever had in your life. And you know what? It's local.
Yeah.
And you're helping these small guys that are constantly getting pounded by the economy and everything else that's going on these days. So, yeah.
Well, Ian, what do you want to? You got anything else you want to talk about in this room?
Not in this room. I think the only stop left is
the tasting room,
the finished process.
Well, let's close out this episode real quick, and we'll start a new one in there. How's that sound?
That
sounds
sounds
good to you?
good.
Hey, thank you for watching this episode of God and Bourbon. Hey, when you come back for the next week's episode, guess what? Ian is taking us into the tasting room. We're going to taste some fine Legends bourbon. Anything else you want us to try while we're here?
Oh, well, I'm going to run you through the gambit.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
You're trying everything tonight.
And Michael told me y'all pour heavy. So, so we're ready. We got our DD, our designated driver. And, but listen, we're here to have fun. We're here to spread the word. We're here to spread the gospel. But at the same time, we're here to try some great bourbon.
Great bourbons.
And so until next week, Thank you for watching God and Bourbon and listening to God and Bourbon. Remember to like, share, and follow us on social media. And Lee,
Also, please like, share, follow Legends and all their great social media platforms, and get out there to the stores, support them.
if they don't have it in the store, demand it in the store. That's what you say. All right. And just remember, we're reaching the lost one sip at a time.